Okay, lots of people, wonderful. It's an honor to be here again. And it's always nice to work with this house and all of you here at the American Scandinavian Foundation. You do a great job promoting Scandinavian art and culture. And it's an honor to work with you. So what you will see this time is called, as Ed said, concrete art from all the 5 Nordic countries. 36 works by 19 artists, covering a time span of 65 years. One of the artists is among us here tonight, Erling Hellandsjø from Norway, somewhere. Welcome. As you have heard, all the works come from one of Norway's most prominent and interesting private art collections, the one of Erling Neby. But before starting talking with you, Erling, let me say a couple of words about concrete art, what it is we are going to show you. Concrete art is a term linked to abstract, non-figurative art launched 90 years ago in 1929. It is characterized by combinations of simple geometric elements set up to create autonomous visual realities, separate from what we see around us. Ole Bertling, who is one of the key artists in our show, has explained this beautifully in a text that he wrote in 1956, and which is translated and published in a small brochure for the show. You should really read it. And he says, I quote, "Concrete realism, instead of showing things, shows thought and emotional depth. Instead of assembling shapes from the external surroundings, it creates a living reality. One shape evokes another shape. One color lives as a function of another color. A line is not just a line. It determines a shape which participates in the expression of the whole and demands its response, until the moment arises when the work begins to live." Quote, finish. So, the Neby Collection is international, covering a wide range of artists from all over. We are only now showing some of the Nordic part here now, but the focus of it all is on concrete art. So, Erling, why did you start to collect this kind of art? And when did it begin?
Why? What would I say? I began in the early 70s because I came to Paris, had some working with some French companies, so I was often there, and more or less by accident I dropped by the gallery Denis René. And I saw things I never seen before. I got very curious, and you know, I come from the countryside in the east, northeast part of Norway with a lot of pine trees. I mean, far away from. Anyway, I started buying a few prints and books, catalogs, and got this illness, and I've been loyal to that art for all these years. It must be how many years? 45 years. But it's important to also, if let us say that 90% of my collection is what we call concrete, constructivistic, minimalistic art or whatever. But I'm not orthodox. I also have works by Jan Grok, Ingrid Johanne Grytting, who is around here. Yeah.
You are special in many ways. When you buy, you never use any consultants.
Never. I never ask anyone. I mean, it's always nice when you come home with a new painting or whatever, and you got some support from the audience, which is my family. They're sitting here so often. There are 3 of my kids, and but I really don't care. I mean, if people don't like, okay. That doesn't mean I did mistakes. Of course, I bought the English was, but that's some years ago. You know, this sort of art is it looks so simple, but and I cannot explain intellectually why this is good or why this is not so good. But you see it immediately. It can turn into, call it delicate decoration, whatever. lobby art, raffinated Italian design things, but which is nice, but it's not enough art.
But then you often end up buying, you seldom sell some things, even if you make mistakes, as you say, but you often end up buying more works by one artist. You have a substantial collection of Vasarely, for instance. When they had the Vasarely exhibition in Paris beginning of this year, many works come from Erling, and you get to know these artists. How does that influence?
Well, I happened to meet him, unfortunately too late in my life. He was an old man, and he's only speaking French, and my French is very, very, very bad, so we didn't really have the conversation, but it was extremely nice to meet him, and I remember when his daughter-in-law introduced me first time, he said, it's Scandinavian Norway, and he looked at me like that. I said, Norway? No, Balkan.
But then you...
But can I also point out that Vasarely, I understand when you say Vasarely, it can be too decorative, and I agree 100%, but the things he made in the 40s, 50s, and the early 60s is so important. And they say, well, okay, the computer artist, but he started with these forms in the mid-50s, and it was not so many computers around at that time.
You'll see upstairs, he has an eye for the art which is incredible. You have a big collection of Olle Battling. Olle Battling, the Swedish artist, is another artist that you got to know, and you had conversations with, intellectual ones even.
Even that, after in the late nights with some refreshments. Yes. No, but he was a very, very special guy. I will not say I've become friend with him. Number one, when I met him in the mid-70s, I was 25 or something. And he was, he was filled up with self-confidence, even more than me. And he could say things like, with my art, a new culture will grow up. Things like that.
That was right. It's been many years since you have started, you have built up a big collection. Erling is a very generous collector. He says yes always when we ask for works for exhibitions. I've been involved with many presentations of your collection. And now you have things on deposit at the annual Art Center, and you have them at home, and you change all the time. You like to be surrounded by your art.
Absolutely. You will see, if you look at the walls, you will see a million holes of spikes in the walls.
Where and how do you acquire things? Do you go to the studios? Do you go to the auction houses, to the galleries, or all of?
Well, all of course. You see, galleries, the auction houses is, they say, unfortunately become the most important art scene. They are really taking more of this gallery thing. So, but I have of course from artists directly, galleries, auction, yeah.
And you're both here, and you also have American artists in your collection.
Excuse me?
You have also American artists.
I have, I think, very important works by Josef Albers, okay, born in Germany of course, but he's an American artist. I have Thomas Smith's cigarette sculpture. I have works by Leopold Schmidt, Ludwig Sander, John McLaughlin, and last but not least, Burgon Diller. First really Montreal disciple, but very, very personal in this.
So it's the latest acquisitions you have done, some will kind of criticize, because when you go upstairs it's very many men, but they belong to the period. But there are two women It's a Norwegian sculptor called Åsa Tex-Morik who is represented, and then one of your last expositions are done by Kristin Nordheim, who is also represented.
Yeah.
So what will be the next thing you buy?
At present, I have buying stop because of financial reason. But when I'm out of money, I always buy print now and then. By the way, graphic works is it's not second-hand, second-class art. I bought recently print by Karin Hellandsjø. You heard about Karin Hellandsjø, a Cuban? This is from 2017, and she was born in 1915. So that means she was 102, and she will be 105 years this year. It's amazing. Have you seen it? It could be a little bit careless, but it's not. It's very personal.
No, and as it's interesting when you see this Nordic exhibition upstairs, which I think is wonderful. They're wonderful works, and then you know at the moment they just opened Josef
Albers.
Yeah, Albers at the MetLife building. I don't know if you've seen it. It's a mural that he made in '63, I think, in honor of America, and it was torn down and now it's been put up again. It's beautiful. So that's on the one side, and then on the other side I went to the Morgan Library today to see the Solavit again, the mural of Solavit. It's beautiful. So this is kind of part of, so this is a style, concrete art is a style that's still living and it's going to live forever. And it's an honor to be able to show it to you, and I hope you like it. And of course, I guess for you it's quite nice to have it shown here.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
So maybe we should, are there any questions? With so many people I know it's difficult. But otherwise I think we should maybe... He's brought his own family, it's wonderful. No, so I think we should maybe close it off. You wanted to say a couple of words before we, but then otherwise, before we close it off, I noted, what did I note? Yeah, I mean, these are works that open for a dialogue, as I started with what Battling said, and you have to use time. When you open for them, they tell you new things every time you see them, but you have to give them a chance. So, good luck.
I have 2 minutes before you continue. I just take this opportunity to thank Ed and his crew. It's fantastic to work with you. I mean, Kari is actually doing the work, but it's so nice. I really love this place. It's so nice to be, Rafi. So, number one, you have a beautiful gallery, you have a great restaurant, warm, nice people. I'm even blessed with the smoking terrace. And a very special thanks to Karin, of course. Without Karin, it would be impossible. She's the great lady in modern and contemporary art in definitely my part of the world. And so nice to see so many faces I recognize, and especially my 3 of my children are here. Very special welcome to you. Thank you. I hope you join the show. I mean, it's great. An exhibition is a show. Okay.
I was wondering if your work has a dialogue with the future as opposed to figurative art, which is contemporary or past. And it seems to me that what you're doing in your non-figurative paintings in canvases, you're having a dialogue with a future that is not yet here, that is supersonic and hard-edged, because cutting-edged has a lot to do with hard-edged. And I wonder if that has anything to do with speaking to tomorrow.
To be 100% honest with you, no.
But I would say yes, because it opens for that too. It opens for everything. You know, it's up to you, it's up to us.
And also the artist isn't always the best judge of his own work.
I think Josef Albers said that the art is looking at you.
I like to ask, do you buy from galleries or from artists? Do you meet the artist when you are buying art? Are you meeting the artist?
Oh yeah, I met them, but of course maybe I'm not look like it, but I'm from the generation after the most of the artists. But of course I have met many of the artists, and like Björn Hellandsjø, who actually is here. And before that, I think I bought the first work from Björn for more than 40 years ago. Maybe 45, 50 years ago. And I'm still doing
Question.
Yes, I have a question for you about the future. Now, how large is your collection actually, the complete collection? Your complete collection, how large is it? How many paintings would you have?
I really don't know.
You know,
But if you're going to ask what is going to happen when I'm not longer on this planet, I have a standard, been asked that before, so I have a standard answer, and that is, ask me in 10 years, I'm still young and promising.
Can I just continue with just one thing on that is, for the Norwegian people, will you let them see your collection in Norway in some way, that you would open your own museum, potentially?
No, that, I mean, people who open museums when they are alive, that, no, I'm not there, no.
But he shows them all the time. I mean, we are in many exhibitions, so.
Great.
Yes.
And there are works on deposit at the Hellandsjø for people to see also, so it's quite accessible. But we're very fortunate that it's upstairs now. If you haven't had a chance to see the exhibition, I invite you upstairs. Erling and Karin will be here. And I, again, want to thank you both. Also to build on Erling's thanks to the ASF staff, I want to particularly thank Emily Stoddard, who is right over there, who has been the big moving force here at ASF on the installation, organization, and everything that it took to get this show on the walls, along with Karin. So thank you, Emily. And also, and also Laurie Fredrickson, Elizabeth Scheel, Victoria McGann, and the whole crew here at ASF. So thanks to them, and thanks to all of you, members and friends and donors and trustees. It's great to have you here, and enjoy the show. Thank you.